I'm Sean Donovan,
I'm Trevor Sorek.
and welcome to the Fine Cut. Today's episode, we'll be talking about the new movie, or not new movie.
Came
Keep
out
saying
last
new.
week.
Came out last week. It's semi-new,
It's still new.
I guess. Yeah. It is in theaters. But it's Craig Gillespie's newest feature, Dumb Money, which is the movie based on the GameStop stock market thing. Would you say it's not a crash, but it's a thing?
No, it's a boom.
The stock market boom and all that kind of stuff from a few years ago, as well as we'll be discussing. I know last week we said that we were gonna do a whole episode on the Wes Anderson shorts, but
We're gonna break it up.
yeah, we're breaking it up into two. We also said that The Exorcist Believer is gonna be this episode, but we're gonna do Dumb Money, and then next week is The Exorcist plus also the other half of the Wes Anderson shorts.
Yeah.
But as we're, we got to break up the Wes Anderson shorts, so we're talking about The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar as well as The Swan. Those are the two shorts that we will be discussing today. But yeah, I always start with, how's it going, Trevor?
Well, I'll have
how's
you
it been?
know. I don't know. It's the weather's changing for the worse.
Oh yeah,
and
no, I'm in
I feel that onset winter depression coming.
Yeah. It's the early fall. I really don't want to do anything. I'm really sad. I'm just kind of sleeping in.
I just want to be warm.
I just want, yeah. Like it's always like, oh man, like I want summer to just like end and go to like winter because that's where all the holidays are and you get to. But then you have that like weird limbo interim period where it's like, man, I'm just so depressed, man.
I'll be honest. I don't like summer that much because bugs and it's way too hot outside.
Yeah,
and
it's crazy.
I hate going outside and like melting, which is what happens in summer.
I want to just quickly put to this that I just realized that when we started this, the first episode we did, we were sweating our asses off because we were just so hot.
I'm comfortable. I dressed
and now
appropriately.
It's so cold. Like I literally let you in today, and I'm like, it is so fucking cold outside. But anyways, anything big going on?
No.
You want to discuss?
No, moving on.
Okay. All right. Well,
not particularly.
well,
I started playing the stock market actually.
Oh, really? Did you?
Yeah. No, I didn't.
I kind of figured, but it's so chaotic. But I want to, we always start also with movie news. We do some movie news here and there. I just wanted to start off with did you see what they announced? Like literally, I think a day after, 2 days after we recorded our last episode.
Well, I don't know who they is, and also
what's
I have
releasing.
No context,
what
so I have no
was
idea.
announced, I should say.
No.
There is a new concert film that's going to be released.
Is it Taylor Swift?
No, it's Beyonce's Renaissance.
Everyone should
Beyonce,
get on the trend because it's free money for the artist.
Honestly, I just found that really funny because, we're talking about Stop Making Sense and also the whole Taylor Kelsey thing, and I'm like,
is Beyonce's movie going to be called Beyonce?
No, it's called Resistance. But come on, get with the Beehive. Then also it was announced that Napoleon,
he's getting a concert.
He's
movie.
getting a concert film actually. No,
it's a Broadway play.
It's good. Joaquin Phoenix.
Napoleon. Taking over France. Taking over France.
Oh no, you have to have the TikTok trend with all like the Napoleon. I think I showed it to you last week or this past
TikTok is just a cesspool of
No, don't say that. We're gonna lose the TikTok crowd.
Of like dumb stuff.
I mean, fair, but yeah, Napoleon will be released in 70mm and IMAX. So that's
someone thinks they got a good movie.
Someone thinks that they're Oppenheimer is what I thought of.
It's like, this is gonna be a good movie. I'm releasing it on 70mm.
But also, I feel like I wanted to bring this up, especially because I don't think I discussed this with you. I didn't show you it or anything. But a few weeks ago, it was announced that there was a new John Woo movie, which you were looking at me like you do not know that name, but you do know that name.
Well, because he did Mission Impossible 2,
Yes.
which is the one I weirdly liked, even though it was terrible.
Yeah, he has a new movie coming out December 1st, and it's a Christmas movie. Semi-Christmas movie, I should say.
I hate Christmas movies.
But so this movie is going to be a bit different. The movie's called Silent Night, and it stars Joel Kinnaman, who is best known for probably playing Rick Flag in Suicide Squad, as well as Kid Cudi, the iconic rapper.
Kid Cudi.
Yeah. The premise of this movie is that I laugh every single time.
Even the premise is funny, huh?
The premise, it's not funny. It's very interesting, but whenever I think of it, there's a scene in the trailer, and where Joel Kinnaman's like yelling in a mirror, but like I guess his like something happened to his throat, so he's just like, ah. So whenever I think of the plot, I always think of that. But it is a dialogue-free action movie.
I hate it already.
So it's basically going to be a silent film.
It's Silent Night. Not to be confused with Violent Night, which came out last Christmas.
Yeah.
It was like Santa is Die Hard, basically.
Pretty much. But this one, the premise is a man goes into the underworld to avenge his young son's death on Christmas Eve.
The underworld?
I guess.
Just the underworld.
I think it's supposed to be like the crime underworld, but yeah, so it's supposedly a dialogue-free action movie. I'm interested. I'm very interested. I think
What year is it? 1920? Do we really need that?
Well, we are in the 20s.
Yeah, but the century.
We're going backwards. We reset the whole cinema landscape.
Is it in black and white as well?
No, it's not. It's gonna be in color, but yeah.
Lame.
What, you want it in black and white?
It'd be more interesting.
Would it though?
I think so.
I feel like it'd be too artsy at that point. You know?
Okay. If a movie is like really campy and stupid, you might as well go with like really.
I don't think it's supposed to be campy. I think it's like, I look at it as almost like a challenge for someone like Wu, because he's the one that like loves gun fu, which is like the kung fu with guns.
Wait, you said it was a silent movie and he was making a sound in the mirror.
He makes like a little
sound.
It's a dialogue free. It's dialogue free.
False advertising.
Oh my gosh.
I want it completely silent, no sounds.
No sound, no nothing. Yeah, it was kind of, but I think I'm really kind of excited for it. I think it's going to be a fun little romp, honestly. But I'm just looking for some more things, more movie news quickly. VFX workers at Disney, they unionized, so that's
congratulations.
That's good. That's at least something good. This is I forgot to talk about this with you. There's an animated Stuart Little kid series in the works. How are you feeling?
That's all you. What do you mean? How am I feeling?
Yeah,
I feel nothing. I don't care about Stuart Little.
What?
First of all, I thought there already was one.
There is. There's like 3 or 4 movies.
Yeah. I don't know why, but in Stuart Little 2, when he's going over the trash pile and he finds his plane again, that's such a really good moment for no reason. In like movie
cinematic
history.
Masterpiece.
Like him climbing over the trash pile and the garbage barge and he finds his plane. It's like, what a triumphant moment for a silly little movie.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
About Stuart Little, yeah. That's your only take on Stuart Little?
I'm pretty sure that's Stuart
Until
Little
10 years from now.
I think that's the second one, too.
Until 10 years from now, we're covering it on Relax and Rewind.
Welcome
to episode 653 of Relax and Rewind.
It's optimistic to think we'll make it to that.
It is optimistic.
But anyway.
But also, we talked about The Exorcist a little bit. We did a whole episode on Relax and Rewind on it, but
check it out.
Yeah, go watch it. But Blumhouse there's some news. Blumhouse start of October, so they're getting into the spooky season.
Are they now?
Well, yeah, they're the horror.
What uncharted territory for them?
But they came out a few days ago saying that the Five Nights at Freddy's movie has already made back its budget.
What? How?
From
wait. It didn't release.
Hold
yet,
on, just
right?
from its streaming and theatrical distribution rights. So pretty much
just from the rights. Well,
just from the rights alone, they've made their budget
That
back.
doesn't speak to how good it is.
I supposedly also they've held like critics reviews till the day it releases, so a lot of people are like, ooh, it might be bad.
I've seen a couple of set photos, and it's like they did a really good job of capturing that like Zap Zone-esque aesthetic.
Well, did you also
like
see
ugly carpet and like pizza parties?
Speaking of like, those kind of like, those kiddie like birthday party places, did you see that Chuck E. Cheese is like making like a Five Nights at Freddy's thing? But it's not Five Nights. They're just like almost like making fun of Five Nights at Freddy's. It's so weird.
Wait, it's like
a promotion. It's like a promotion that they're having at Chuck E. Cheese.
Well, if you're Chuck E. Cheese, you gotta cash in on that.
But
right?
like, so oh my gosh.
If you're Charles E. Cheese,
this is insane. So it says, yeah, I'll accept all cookies, I guess, because I just want my computer littered with stuff. So it's called Five Nights of Fun at Chuck E. Cheese. They made a movie poster, and it's exactly like the Five Nights.
They do know it's like a
poster.
horror film, right?
Yeah, they do.
Like,
yeah, but there was another thing.
Kids are gonna be afraid of the giant mouse mascot.
But so the thing also is,
you know what's really ironic? I bet you those Chuck E. Cheese places are like littered with like rodents.
Oh, they definitely are. But they're gonna get us on. What's the one that's like not written but like said out loud or recorded? What is not liable? What the fuck is it?
You lost me.
There's like like when you diss someone on like recording or something.
Oh, like Chuck E. Cheese is gonna sue us.
Yeah, they're gonna sue us for this.
Damages, sue us for damages. I don't think they need. I think they're dealing with their.
It's a free country.
Yeah, it's a free country. You can't
I can say
sue.
what. Yeah. But
hey, maybe Chuck E. Cheese run a better establishment. Yeah. How about that? How about that?
The thing that makes this so funny though is that they put out like an employee of Chuck E. Cheese posted something in like a memo they got, and it says this is the top thing. It says, important note: our engagement is not a formal relationship or partnership with the movie. Our brand is naturally being woven into discussions due to the nature of the subject material. If they are going to mention us, let's give them something to talk about more than what they've been saying.
That's a good strategy. I mean, that's what I would do.
It's just like, but it's like, no, don't say this. It's like, together with Five Nights at Freddy's movies, we're doing this promotion. Instead, say, we're all about fun, so we have thought we'd just think of a fun way to have 5 nights of it in a row.
Hey, to quote a very smart animated penguin here, just smile and wave, boys. Just smile and wave.
But it's so, like, there's another one. Don't say, yeah, the characters kind of look similar, huh? Wait until you see them when we're closed. Whoa. This is verbatim.
Chuck E. Cheese is promoting child murder after hours in their establishments.
But this is what they say instead of that. Haunted characters? No way. Unless Mr. Munch doesn't get his pizza on time. Now that's scary.
Bro, it actually is, because I'm just like, imagining having to feed an animated so like animatronic mouse pizza, or else you get like murdered. That's frightening.
I just love this so much. It's I didn't.
I mean, it's I don't. It's no surprise that the Five Nights at Freddy's thing is like blown up. It's perfect scenario.
It's so funny though. Okay.
It's mildly amusing at best.
Oh, I find it so funny, but just a quick we got to get into the dumb money discussion here, but there's also have you seen The Strangers from like 2007, the horror movie?
No, but I just randomly saw it on something. Was it like Netflix?
I think
I saw
I
like
have
the
no clue.
poster for it.
It
did that thing where
yeah,
they're
it's
wearing.
streaming on Netflix right now. But
there's okay, just to go off on a little rant. Ever since I want to say it was The Purge. There's been a string of horror films where people wear animal masks.
Yep.
Like pigs and rabbits and stuff, like Alice in Wonderland style. And it's like, why are like dozens and dozens of movies have copied that kind of thing, and it's like, why? Get more original.
Yeah.
But like, I can think of a million things scarier than like a cartoon pig mask. You know,
I think it's just the scariness of like,
you can't see their face.
I think it's just because it's like, oh, these are people that are trying to murder me. I think that might be the scary.
And then like house invasions too. House invasions where they're wearing masks.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we've only seen this 15 times.
Yeah, but next year we're gonna see it 3 more times because The Strangers is now there's gonna be a new trilogy in the Strangers series.
What?
And they're all gonna release next year.
Who asked for this?
I have no clue who asked for it, but yeah, we're gonna get. It's
terrible,
gonna be.
Man.
It's the first one's called The Strangers Chapter 1. It's a trilogy.
They already had one.
Well, that's called The Strangers. This one's called The Strangers Chapter 1, though.
They should retcon the original and make it The
Strangers Chapter 6 or
Chapter
something.
0.
But
no one asked for that to be a franchise. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is it really even? I haven't seen it, but like, is it even interesting enough?
It's
like
from what I've seen of it, it's pretty good actually.
I mean,
it's
at least
scary.
The Purge has like some world building, like around it.
It's also world building because it has 5 movies, but
those movies suck.
But also speaking of movies that have like two films coming out, Kevin Costner announced that he's going to be making a 2-film series called Horizon, an American saga, and it's going to be part 1's releasing June 24th and part 2's releasing, or not June 24th, it's going to be releasing in June 2024, and then the second part is going to be released in August 2024.
Just put it right next to Avatar, Avatar 2 and 3.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I'm sorry, 3 and 4. They did actually do the second one. But yeah, whatever. We mentioned this because we mentioned Waterworld at some point.
Did we?
I think so.
I don't remember.
Kevin Costner sure is ambitious.
He really is. But yeah, that's pretty much all the movie. Oh no, wait, I had one more.
Okay.
Supposedly, because we, like we said, we were talking about The Exorcist. Supposedly William Friedkin, something
came back from
no.
Hold
on, no.
Just to say Exorcist Believer sucks.
It kind of is that though.
He rolled over in his grave.
He supposedly, when the movie released, someone pulled I don't know where they got it, but
dug up his grave, did necromancy.
No. But he supposedly, before he passed, he was on record saying something. And the thing that he said is so funny. I gotta where is the actual quote? I gotta look up. Geez, something's flying over us right now, or that's insane. That's probably getting picked up by the mic, honestly.
Is there like a military?
There's no military near us.
Oh, did they ever find that jet that went missing?
I think I found it.
Crashes into. Oh my god!
You hear just a huge explosion. But oh my gosh, I can't find it. But basically, what he said, William Friedkin was quoted saying, I found it. Here we go. I had to have found it. He said, quote, "My signature film is about to be extended by the man who made Pineapple Express. I don't want to be around when that happens. If there's a spirit world and I can come back, I plan to possess David Gordon Green and make his life a living hell. So
wow.
yeah, it's like damn. Yeah.
That's spectacular.
It's yeah. So I just well next week we will see if if he really should possess
we'll have
or
to
make David Gordon Green's life a living hell.
We'll have to see if he reports any hauntings.
Dude, I'm gonna be completely honest. The day after we recorded that, I felt like this weird presence. I'm not fucking with you. It was weird.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean you felt a weird
I
presence?
felt a weird presence. I just did. So
what? Okay, wait, whoa, hang on. We gotta
get to dumb money.
Hey,
we'll just leave it there.
We gotta expand on this. Hang on.
I'll expand on it next week. How about that?
No, it's spooky season.
But we gotta get to dumb money.
Okay, you gotta tell me.
I'll expand it next week.
You gotta tell me off mic or something.
Maybe.
Because I can't wait a week for that.
All right.
Ghost stories.
But finally, after what is it, 20 minutes into the podcast, we're getting to our first actual thing.
We operate this way. This is not unusual.
Yeah. But
dumb money as opposed to smart money.
Yeah. So we'll get into the first film that we'll be reviewing, which of course is Dumb Money. This came out in wide release last week. We were supposed to do it with our the creator, but you did not see it in time.
Oh, okay.
But
it's my fault.
It's fine. No, it's not your. Don't worry about it. I'm not calling you out per se.
Bite me.
Okay.
Ow! that joke only worked because there's no visual.
Yeah. Man, when we have visuals, we still have to put these audio jokes in there, though. But of course, this is the movie about the GameStop stock market fiasco that happened back
literally only 2 years ago.
Yeah,
like
very early.
Not that long ago.
Very it was like late 2020, early 2021.
During the pandemic.
Yeah, it was we were in the throes of the pandemic. It was really like less than a year in, but
what a quick turnaround to capitalize on an event.
I was gonna bring up that the writer, so the book was written, so it's based off a book.
A book was written about it?
Yeah, it's based off the book The Antisocial Network by Ben Mezrich. And he said, so this premiered at TIFF, Toronto International Film Festival. And so the producers, the writer, director, they were all there because, of course, SAG-AFTRA is still on strike. So he was talking to like a reporter, and he said, yeah, before I even wrote the book, I had studios bidding to make a movie.
Interesting.
So it wasn't, after I heard that, I'm like, this is not surprise. I'm not surprised that this had a fast turnaround. So, but of course this movie,
it's interesting, and there's something about that I really don't like. But
what,
yeah,
fast turnaround?
Yeah.
Well, like they also announced like last week, I think. I don't know if I put this in movie news last week, but they are making a movie on the Titan submersible.
Yeah,
and it's like that is like
guys,
very quick, and it's very like
I don't think that one's in good.
Good. It's definitely
good
poor.
Taste,
It's definitely poor taste.
You know, people died in that one.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about like the GameStop thing.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone died.
Well,
so
COVID,
that makes it.
That's about it.
Well, yeah, there was COVID. Well, that was unrelated.
Yeah.
But the GameStop thing, at least no one died per se.
Yeah. But yeah, this is this movie's directed by Craig Gillespie, from pretty much Lars and the Real Girl fame. Is probably his biggest movie that he's done. Also I, Tonya. He does a lot of these like kind of biopic-ish
Lars in
films.
the Real World,
not
and the Real Girl. Sorry.
Yeah.
Starring Ryan Gosling.
Right? Yep.
Okay.
And I, Tonya, starring Margot Robbie. So
I just saw a video about Ryan Gosling movies.
Is it I've watched every single one? Yeah. But his last movie he did was in 2021, and it was Cruella. So he's coming back.
Never caught that one.
Yeah. But this of course stars Paul Dano, Pete Davidson, Vincent D'Onofrio, American Ferrera, Nick Offerman, Anthony Ramos, Sebastian Stan, Shailene Woodley, and Seth Rogen. So
quite the cast.
Quite the cast. Quite the story. What'd you think about it?
The way it was advertised, it definitely seemed like it was going to be more of a comedy.
I fully agree.
And the result was more of a dramatic biopic.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it doesn't.
I definitely felt like I was lied to a little bit.
Well, so the thing so I would agree
Ironically,
with you.
I think that's kind of the movie I thought would be better than just a straight up comedy.
Yeah.
Ironically,
what I'm going to say is I agree with you that the trailer definitely made it feel like it's going to be like, it almost felt like it was going to be The Big Short, where it was going to have these like very like kind of fourth wall breaking comedy bits.
Yes. Well, I mean, Pete Davidson was very prominent in the trailers.
Yeah,
and he's definitely just comic
not
relief.
in the movie that much, not at all.
He's not in the movie that much, I guess, but he's also clearly just comic relief in the movie.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's like there's some like
there's
some pretty funny scenes and stuff in this, and I think like
kind of,
it's
there's some.
Yeah, and I would agree that this is definitely more of a drama, but it's kind of it has that comedy aspect in it, and I think because they have some comedic actors in here, maybe not Pete Davidson. I am not. When we get to
you're not a fan.
When we get to the acting portion of our
you're
talk,
not a fan of Pete frickin' Davidson.
Not really. Even he's hosting SNL next week, I think. SNL's back. He's hosting it, and I'm like,
I'll have to watch that.
I'll have to watch it, but I'm not. I'm like, okay, but yeah, no, at least I'm very, the whole like being this a biopic, it can run into a lot of like yikes situations. It could be like just generic biopic, and I think like there is definitely the generic biopic of it, but I think the story is at least somewhat interesting enough to not really allow it to go into these biopics territories of like, oh, the guy wins at the end, yeah, or like he's struggling, like it has those.
It is
ups
really
and downs.
funny. They kind of gloss over the fact that the main guy here does make like millions and millions of dollars at the end.
Yeah,
they kind of gloss over that a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I think also like this is
because his whole deal was trying to make a point here.
Mm-hmm.
It was making a point. It's like because the way I'm not going to explain how it works, but like shorting, they were betting on GameStop to fail because it was going to. Let's be honest here.
The basic like understanding at least, and I think this also is a point in the film's direction, is like I watched something like The Big Short, and I think a lot of people are comparing this to The Big Short.
Right.
Because it has the same kind of big cast, comedic aspect to it. It's like a more comedy. A lot of people probably told this as like a more comedy movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it also is about the stock market. It's about a big story with the stock market, and I think where The Big Short, I came out of it and I was like, even seeing Margot Robbie in a bathtub explaining something to me, I was like, I'm still confused.
Oh yeah,
where like this,
that
it's like
stuff is so confusing.
Yeah, where this it was like, okay, I can. They say it in a almost layman's terms, so like I'm like, okay, yeah, I understand. And so like a short's basically shorting the GameStop stock is pretty much devaluing the stock until the company goes bankrupt.
Yeah.
And people lose.
I mean, GameStop was, it's kind of funny. Like, I think of Blockbuster and GameStop. Those are two places I spent quite a lot of time in my life. And it's just funny because, like, Blockbuster is gone. GameStop is, I guess it's still around.
What?
GameStop.
Yeah, GameStop's still around.
It still exists.
But it's definitely not what it used to be.
Did this whole thing benefit the company at all?
I
I don't know. I feel like it should.
I feel
right?
like it should. I have a feeling.
You would hope, right?
Yeah.
But I think comparing it to The Big Short. I mean, The Big Short was about the housing crisis, right?
Mhm.
In 2008. So it's like that one also had like a very somber undertone because that event ruined many people's lives. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people lost their houses and stuff.
Mhm.
With it, whereas Dumb Money, it's about GameStop stock.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't have that same aspect of it. Like, sure, people related to the stock itself had maybe their lives ruined if they lost a bunch of money or, benefited from it. But you have to work harder to make the whole story sympathetic. So you have all these like personal anecdotes of people who like bought in because they watch Paul Dano's character talk about the stock.
Yeah.
It's like, are those
Roaring
real?
Kitty,
are those real people though? Are they based on real people? Or are they just made up for the movie?
Don't know. So I'm assuming that like pretty much to explain. The movies kind of have two separate sides. You have the quote unquote antagonists, which are the hedge fund guys. So this is the Vincent D'Onofrio character, Nick Offerman's character, Sebastian Stan, and Seth Rogen. They all play real people. So I don't. And then the other side is the kind of the working man, like basic, like lower class, middle class people. And that's the Shailene Woodley or the Paul Dano, Pete Davidson, American Ferrera, Anthony Ramos, all those characters. And I think the only one I would say on that side is real is Paul Dano and probably Shailene Woodley because Shailene Woodley plays Paul Dano's wife. So
you're thinking
I'm thinking that it's none of them are really real, but I think it's like maybe the possibility.
Well,
of what
one of
could
them,
have happened.
America Ferrera's character, as like a shout out, like what their username on Reddit was. So maybe she's real.
Do you remember that name?
It was Stonk Mom.
Stonk Mom, yes. I'm gonna look up.
That's like the meme term for stock.
Reddit,
stonk.
not obscure. What the heck? I'm on. All right, I'm going to Reddit.
You know what's funny? I remember when all this stuff was happening, like in real life.
Yeah.
Like the Wall Street.
The Wall Street bets.
Bets.
Yeah,
those
Wall
guys?
Street's bets. You went on there?
Yeah, I remember reading the posts and stuff, and I was like, "Wow, this is a bunch of nonsense." It's like, man, I should have bought some stock.
Yeah, no, I came out of this movie being like, damn, I should have invested on GameStop during this because, I think it definitely makes it feel like.
Well, I mean, even you see it in the movie, you had to have bought a lot of the stock to actually make a decent amount of money, because like.
But even then, it's like a lot of these were They started, so this is the one thing that I was like. This is what I was like kind of happy with this movie. I give a point to at least is it really showed almost the full picture of the timeline of events that happened, because I had no clue. This started back in like July, August time frame of 2020, and like I did not realize that that's when it was going on. I only know it from the January, like that week in January where it was skyrocketing and everyone was like, what the what?
I don't really remember when I looked at the webpage. It was probably after it was already in the headlines, but either way, I mean, well, also the thing at the end is like basically the lasting message of the movie is like, so these Wall Street guys can never bet on dumb money the same way again. They changed Wall Street forever. It's like, did they though? Did they? No. Now they just have to do a little more due diligence.
Yeah,
which is really not that big of a deal if you think about it.
Yeah, well, like the whole thing of like the ending, that's actually like something I wasn't a huge fan of.
It's like they can continue to short stuff, but they just can't short something like GameStop, because like GameStop is something that people love
Yeah.
and may rally to support like they did.
I don't think it might not even be rally to support. I think it was too mainstream, honestly.
Just like a too mainstream of a thing.
Yeah, like, well, because, like, go to any mall in America, I feel there's a GameStop. You know, like any strip mall, there's a GameStop.
Well,
Like, GameStop is so around. Like,
these hedge fund guys, all they gotta do now is just short companies that no one cares about.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, within 15 miles of where we are right now, there are 3 GameStops. So, like, if I needed to get a game, like,
didn't realize that there was 3.
I could get a game with it. I can go to a GameStop pretty easily. But I think, like, and that's where I think, like, the downside of at least the ending is that it very, very much feels like it's an optimistic, but it's like not really. Like, the stock market's still gonna fuck us over. Like, it's
it's being optimistic, but it's like they're just gonna get more. They're gonna get more shady with what.
Yeah, and it's like
instead of targeting a company like GameStop, they'll target something that the average person doesn't care about.
Yeah. Like it's...
Think of, like, the most mundane thing ever. Like, some manufacturer where all they make is, like, electrical outlets or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I think
something
that's also
really
why
boring like that.
It's something where, you know, it's like... And that's why I say I think the movie ending is, like, optimistic for no reason.
They didn't really change a lot, is all I'm saying.
They didn't really. It's an interesting story. I think it's a very interesting, like, turn of events to make into a movie. I think it's and I think it's well done, but the ending's like they changed this forever, and it's like, oh, they didn't. Like,
it's very optimistic.
So, but
I do like how like Robin Hood got in trouble, like the trading app.
Oh yeah, no, like. Yeah, I was very suspicious of Robin Hood from the start.
They definitely made some rich people crap their pants.
Yeah,
for sure, because they weren't expecting that, obviously.
But that's why I think this movie, to say I want to get into the acting because I want to say my Paul Dano, my Pete Davidson thing actually. But the whole, like, Robin Hood storyline felt it was needed, but it was like it feels like it diverted the story a little too much for my liking as well.
You think so? I don't know. I feel like there's no way. It's one of those things where it's like you couldn't avoid talking about it. Like, you have to include it.
And that's why I say it's the necessary evil. But, like, I think they spent a little too much time with
the hedge fund guys and Sebastian Stan is like the Robin Hood guy.
Yeah,
it's like you're told that you're just supposed to hate these people because they're rich, and it's like, okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I can get on board with that, but also it's like,
yeah. Well, I think
let's blame that guy specifically.
Also, it was like I wanted more from at least the other's perspective. I want more from the like the working men storylines, especially like there felt like they were setting up some storylines that just never really went anywhere too.
Such as,
like, the whole American Ferrera with the nice car. Like, she's like, "Oh, I wish I had a nice car." Then in the end, it's like, why they spent a scene talking about cars for like 2 minutes and then went really nowhere.
Yeah,
you have like
was like. Yeah, what was like she's trying to make her life better?
Yeah, like, well, yeah, like they all are. They all
like
are.
A little hint.
Yeah,
it might work out for this person.
It definitely,
even though she was in debt at the beginning, and then she's
still in debt at the end. Yeah, but she also says, like, you know, she's holding still or whatever. But
okay, that's another thing. If I had all this stock and it blew up like that, I would not hang on to it very long. I would sell it.
Well, that's just you.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, for real, like, GameStop, you know that's going to crash. You know what I mean? Like, you know it's going to go back
Hold on.
down.
I'm going to look up GameStop stock right now. Live. It is currently sitting at $15 a share.
That's still way more than it should be. But,
yeah. This is up from, well, let's go 1 year ago. I mean, back in June of this year, it was at 26. It's down it's down 10.27 points.
Like, you follow the POV of like two college students.
Yeah.
Who weren't really that interesting. Sorry, but when it's at like $150,000 for them, just sell it. Just sell it. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, why are you waiting around? It made me mad because it's like, it's going down again. Like, it's just a matter of time, especially when all that stuff, like, I mean, Congress gets involved and stuff. Like, just sell it when it's high, okay? Like, oh, I could have made more money though. It's like, well, yeah, but you still, like, now you physically have the cash that you cashed out in. You know what I mean? Like, it's not movie was stressing me out.
It is a very stressful movie, and I wanted to ask you.
I don't like gambling, and I don't like risking.
So I'll
all your
never
money.
take you to a casino, is what I'm hearing.
I don't have fun at casinos. I really don't.
You just sit in the corner while everyone's at the blackjack table.
I don't have fun at casinos. But
okay.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna get you to a casino now.
I know the whole point was like they rallied and like they keep holding guys.
Yeah.
And you make you made a really big point. Bro, I would have sold that stuff so fast. Like the moment it went over, like,
it was at like $300 per share or something like that.
No kidding. Like, I mean, it's hard to say. Like, obviously, you want to maximize your, but so like the moment it went down any significant amount, I'm like, I'm getting out now.
So I'm looking at the prices right now. So here's where it's sitting at. So January 11th, it's at $19.94.
Yeah.
So it was actually more in January than it is now.
Yeah.
Exactly. By like $4. But January 25th, it's at or January 21st. I'll say 21st. 10 days later, it's at $43.
That's a huge bump in a short amount of time.
2 days later.
2 days.
Or a day later, it's at $65.
It's climbing, and then it totally crashes.
3 days later, it's at $76. The next day, it goes to $147, and then the next day, January 27th, where it was the highest it's probably ever been, $347 a share.
Okay.
So say you had 10,000 shares.
Yeah, I get it. You multiply your money big time, but you gotta get out while it's high. Like
you're sitting then at almost 30,000, or that'd be 10,000 shares at $300. It's $3 million. So I mean,
Yeah,
so.
But like, it's no way I'd have 10,000 shares. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would have been like someone with like 10 shares probably at most.
Yeah.
But
even then you would have made probably what, $300 what's 300 times 10?
I don't know. I can't do math.
I can't do 3,000. No, that's not 3,000. It'd be 30,000, wouldn't it?
I
don't
have a calculator in front of me.
All right, time to edit out my
Basic
horrible
tens.
math scales. 3,000. It'd be 3,000.
Yeah, well, I would take my 3,000 and run, and then like that's a good amount of profit right there. Okay, like I would not mess with it.
Yeah,
I'm not a risk taker, so I was just stressed the whole time in this movie.
But I want to quickly get into the characters and everything as well, or at least the acting, because this,
no one put in a bad performance, but I will say Seth Rogen, I'm not a fan.
Seth Rogen was interesting in this, I think. My big standouts, of course, are Paul Dano. I think Paul Dano was kind of really, it almost seems like he just wants to have fun with acting now. Like, he just is
he did the Riddler, and he was
like,
deep.
I'm like,
man.
Because I mean, especially he does like the Batman and the Fablemans last year, but he's just like, what I want to do dumb money. I just want to do dumb money, and I think he's kind of just like, yeah, I'm gonna be doing stuff. I'm a great actor. Everyone knows it.
I would say this movie wasn't even that much fun, which is kind of crazy, because like it was advertised as like, oh, this will be fun.
Well, like something like this, it's like I don't see this being nominated for like any Oscars at all.
No.
Like, so maybe if best bet, I would say maybe adapted screenplay. But even then, we have a few movies that are coming out later this year that are based on stuff that have a better bet. So,
for sure.
But and that's why I say I think Paul Dano just wanted to kind of have fun and do like this kind of I'm just doing this kind of weird and quirky character, and gonna have a nice paycheck and have fun. I'm with Pete Davidson, it's like so. But speaking of that, Pete Davidson, I did not like him at all in this movie.
I mean, is he supposed to be likable? Because he's like a DoorDash driver or a Grubhub or something. He just eats people's food.
Yeah,
it's like okay.
My one thing, so when we get into the whole DoorDash thing, it's like my one thought was, how has this guy not been kicked off DoorDash?
No kidding.
Yeah, because like he's DoorDashing at the beginning of the movie and at the end of the movie, and it takes place over like 6-7 months. So it's like, how has this guy not been kicked off yet? So
who can say? I don't know.
But his performance just felt off to me. Like someone like Nick Offerman, who is a comedic actor, played the.
You want to know what the only part of the movie that got me to like laugh out loud?
What?
Like they're in the car as a family, and then and then Pete Davidson is like talking about his Reddit page or whatever, and he's like, he finds out that he's the user balls with a Z, who's been like talking mad crap on the page, and he's like, "Your balls."
Yeah.
Well,
that's another. That was
the only funny part.
You actually bring up another good point that that kind of adds to that, like the American Ferrera with her car and stuff. But like they linger on the username balls so much in like the first 40 minutes, and then it's just like, oh, it's Pete Davidson. And that's it. That's all it is.
No, I thought that was really funny though.
It's funny, but it almost felt like, okay, why was that necessary? I feel like this movie could have been a good, nice, lean, like 90-minute movie.
Well, they gotta show like, okay, he didn't just like. It took him. He had to convince people that like GameStop was a good stock.
Oh yeah, no, and I get that, but I think I got that already without the use of the balls joke.
Oh, okay.
So
I don't know. That was the only part of the movie that got me to laugh out loud.
I love that you're defending a balls joke right now.
It was the only part that made me laugh out loud. That's all I gotta say.
All right. But yeah, no, I mean,
because it wasn't really a comedy. Darn it.
So, because I think we should probably go on over to the Henry Sugar here.
Okay. Just final thoughts here.
Yeah, some final thoughts.
Dumb Money is not a bad movie.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of falsely advertised. But actually, them going the more serious route, I think actually
I was going to ask you this, because you just watched The Big Short.
Yeah.
Do you think The Big Short should have been more like this movie, where it had that more serious, kind of like more drama tone?
I felt like Big Short did have that serious
It does,
tone.
but it has very comedic
Let's talk about the trifecta of Wall Street movies here, okay?
What are the trifectas?
So
what's the trifecta?
Dumb Money, The Big Short, and The Wolf of Wall Street, okay?
Oh god.
These three. Okay. So I think The Big Short and Dumb Money have the more serious tone to it. Like they acknowledge the fact that like playing the stock, like it's affecting people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
Like like, and then The Big Short's obviously even more serious because like people lost their houses and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it has that undertone of like, man, this is messed up. Like this is, Dumb Money is kind of like, all right, yeah, stick it back to the man a little bit. Like there you go. And then The Wolf of Wall Street is like, they are on the other side of it, where like he's kind of like the evil person playing the penny stocks, and then like that movie is like a total joke, even though like he's taking advantage of people and all this stuff, and like I feel like it's portrayed as like as if it's cool or something, and I just don't like. It's like I don't think
it's fair.
and haha, they're on drugs. Like, that's funny. No, it's not. Okay. So that's my take on those.
That's
two.
your take?
I like when they like this is serious stuff. Like it affects
I
people's
get
lives.
that. Yeah.
You know?
But what I say I should or what I'm getting at is like, should this been a more kind of a not straightforward comedy, but should it have been more comedic, almost like The Big Short, where Big Short has
just
those
advertised it as a biopic.
Fair.
You know, like less Pete Davidson in the trailer and more like emphasis on like this was a real thing and like this is what happened. This is how they stuck it to the man, even though let's be honest, nothing changes. But you know,
yeah,
that would have been better because I think a lot of people did go to the theater to see Dumb Money thinking this is gonna be a good, haha, funny romp time.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's a fair end statement, honestly, for Dumb Money. And I'm trying to think of. I totally blanked on the name there. But we'll go into our little, like we said, we're gonna talk about the 2 Wes Anderson shorts.
Released on Netflix.
Released on Netflix. They were released back. I should have been
earlier in the month or last month.
Last month. This I think it came out around the same time Dumb Money did. I remember I watched this. I watched Dumb Money, or I watched Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, then Dumb Money, and then I came home and watched The Swan, which are the 2 that we'll be talking about. But this
I watched all the shorts in one go. Was there 4 or 5 of them?
There were 4. So the first one, of course, is The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. This was released on September 27th of, of course, this year. So this also had its premiere at the Venice Film Festival. And it's the new Wes Anderson short film. It's in at 41 minutes.
Yep.
So
starring Benedict Cucumber Patch. And
okay. It stars Benedict Cumberbatch, Ray Fiennes, Dev Patel, Ben Kingsley, Richard Ayoade, and David Grant. So yeah, where I should start this with saying you have a very hot, I think not a hot take, but you have a take on Wes Anderson that I think you really want to talk about.
These shorts are kind of getting to me, man.
Okay.
Like Wes Anderson, my guy. I like your shtick, okay? Haven't you done it like too many times? Like, do something different. Sure, he's telling a different story every time.
Yeah.
But it's the same style every time.
Yeah, no, that's his thing. It's his style.
I don't know. I'm Wes Andersoned out.
Are you?
I can
Asteroid City.
I want more like in the style of the Darjeeling Limited or Bottle Rocket or something, where it's not a stage play I'm watching. You know what I mean? Give me like a non-stage play, please, Wes. I'm getting tired of it.
So you bring up like the whole stage play, and I think like, so I will say.
I mean, I enjoyed Asteroid City.
Yeah,
but
that was literally a stage play.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware.
But, it's odd that you say like you don't want stage plays, but we talked about this off mic, and that The Swan is your favorite of these, because I feel like The Swan is the closest to a stage play, or like reading of a stage play. But
I think the problem with the Henry Sugar one is that that's the one where he's trying to learn how to see the back of the cards, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So the basic breakdown of the Henry Sugar story, of course, we're gonna get into spoilers. So go watch it on Netflix. It's only 40 minutes, guys.
He talks like a guru guy, and he's like, yeah, you can totally like tap into the Force if you like.
Yeah.
If you meditate or
no,
whatever.
he reads a book on it.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
he's just reading a book. That's right.
Yeah,
you didn't actually meet the guy, right?
It's odd that this. So you said that there was 4 or 5. Like you said, is there 4 or 5 shorts?
Well,
I think
this
the reason
one is
why
twice as long as the other ones.
I think the reason why
for
you
no
said,
reason.
I think the reason why it's longer is because it's pretty much, excuse me, it's pretty much two shorts
put together.
And one of the shorts you need in there to understand what's going on in the second short. So the start of it is pretty much, here's Henry Sugar, kind of a dick, kind of an asshole, just kind of living life, very rich for no reason.
He read a book this one
Yeah,
time.
and then he goes, it like cuts to the book, and it's like, here's what happened in the book, and they read the full book, and then it's like, I know what I'm gonna do with my life. I'm gonna become even more rich. And it's like, okay.
He uses his newfound force powers for evil to cheat in the casino.
But then he becomes good at the end. But so
this one, okay, I have beef. I have beef with Wes right now, because like this one did not need to be 40 minutes. 41 minutes.
I like I said, I think
because most of the time here is like, oh yes, to learn how to see the backs of cards, like using his mind, like he's training, and then like, yep, Benedict Cumberbatch is still training, and he's still training.
No, I think the reason why it's
spend
longer,
like 10 minutes on that.
Okay, here's why I think it's longer. So like we said, it's 40 minutes. It's two shorts. It's two shorts.
Yeah, you already said that.
No, I know. What I'm saying is that you're like, why it have to be, 40 minutes? Why does it have to be longer? And it's like, because if they made
too much context,
if they made Henry Sugar's story as one short, then the man who could not see or whatever, or could, like, the man who could see with his eyes closed.
Okay.
Another short. Then you end up with...
You would think the other ones are connected somehow.
Yeah, I think you would end up with and also it's like, which one do you release first? Do you release the man with no eyes, or the man who could see with his eyes closed first, and then Henry Sugar? Or do you release Henry Sugar, and then it's like, oh, here's the story that was in Henry Sugar?
Okay, well, he could have made it like 30 minutes, and he didn't. So... That's my point. So like he has to train, and he's training, and like all the while they're reading like stage directions, okay?
Yeah.
And it was getting annoying. I was getting annoyed. I'm sorry. He's like, and then like sooner or later he was practicing, and he timed himself to see how quickly he could get the card right. And then as the days went by, he cut his time down from a minute and 10 seconds to a minute and 5 seconds, and then a minute, and then 55 seconds, and then, like blah 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 blah. Just over, like, okay, I get it. Just cut to him being a master. Like, I don't need to see that. Like, cut to the good part. It was getting boring.
You getting mad about it is so funny to me. But
I'm just saying.
Well, I think like, and this is the whole story thing. It's like it's
so whimsical.
Like the short story format, and I think I like, in all honesty, when we get, or I want to talk.
I think that's the good thing about the short movies thing here.
Mm-hmm.
All these are all based on Roald Dahl stories, and I don't think any of these were really worthy of being a feature length film.
Oh yeah, no. Well, of course, because they're all
not.
short stories. Like you can't really make them into. Like,
none of these need to be expanded upon.
Yeah.
I would say like Stephen King is another example of an author who writes a lot of short stories.
Mm-hmm.
I think
even though his best short stories are, or even though his best short stories are his best movies at the same time.
Yeah, well, the thing, Stephen King's short stories can be expanded into like actual feature length films. I don't think you can do that with Roald Dahl. Roald Dahl is a little too weird for that.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. But like
Roald Dahl and Wes Anderson, good marriage of
they do
ideas
fit. I think
in styles there, but
well, I mean, it's a lot of people's favorite movie by Wes Anderson is Fantastic Mr. Fox, which is also a Roald Dahl story. But yeah, no, this one I thought was a very welcomed addition to his filmography, honestly. Even though you're ranting about the length or whatever, and it's like, but I think
it was just kind of boring, and like his turn is like, you know what? I got all this money from cheating with my force powers. It didn't really feel very fulfilling. I guess I'll just be a good guy and like donate it to like orphanages and stuff. It's so boring.
Yeah. I don't think it was boring per se, but I will say it definitely drags a little. It does drag. I'll admit for it being a short film, you can't really with short films drag. And I think
this one felt like a drag to me.
This one drags at least when it drags is probably not the greatest part of when it drags. And it's the thing where you were saying like it's the Henry Sugar just being a rich dude who has magical powers for like that 5-minute section. Like give me it in a minute. Just show me him winning all this money and then like him going and being like, oh, what do I do with all this money kind of thing.
I need more of like, if you're going to have a story like that, I need more of an epiphany.
Yeah.
Like something that like is just like visually, like it makes you like, oh, I totally get it. Like you get the turn of character. He doesn't really have an epiphany. The police officer just scolds him.
Well, and that's like the
is that
well, but even then the epiphany
moment?
comes before the police scolds him. It's like,
oh, he's like, man, that didn't feel very fulfilling.
Yeah,
winning all that money. Okay, sure. Okay,
pretty much his epiphany is, I'm really good at this. I don't have joy in being very good at this anymore.
There's no risk in it.
Yeah, there's no risk. So it's like,
hey, this is also about gambling.
It is, yeah, actually.
He should have just played the stock market.
That would have been a lot harder.
If he can see like through things.
Yeah. Well, I think, but the other good thing about
he should just play the stock market because I feel like his powers wouldn't help with the. It helps with card games, but
like that's the whole point of the story is that he's like, really good at card games.
Maybe they should double down and not become a good guy.
Okay. But
it's like, well, now you're changing Roald Dahl's story.
Yeah. But I also just like, of course we already did an episode on Wes Anderson and like his style and stuff, and but like this to me it almost, and of course you said that you're kind of sick of his style, his stuff, but I was very pleasantly surprised with this one because a lot of his movies have the here's the camera angle, here's like the the aesthetic, it's the aesthetic kind of pleasing aesthetic thing that he has, but this was like, I could feel that it was like almost Wes Anderson going, I'm making a short film, but I'm going to make it feel like I'm going to make it feel like a short film. I'm not going to have these grand scale, sets that, like, because like he could have easily for like the hospital made a set that it was a grand scale hospital and
You're
him
saying
running
he
around.
reeled it in a little bit?
I don't think he reeled it in. I think I don't think when I say that, because like when you say he reeled it in, it almost gives this negative connotation, but
there is such a thing as being too over the top.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think this was a good thing that he reeled it in. I should say it's a good thing that yeah.
I'm just saying the contrast of like, haha, whimsical Wes Anderson style with, I'm going to read you every single stage direction and then, like, I don't know. That dichotomy gets annoying for me sometimes.
Here's what I think is an example of what I mean by that. Asteroid City that came out this year. He built the town. He built the town in Asteroid City literally from the ground up.
It's a small town.
It's a small town, but he's
like
built
buildings.
Nah, there's more than 3 buildings, but he's built. But basically, they went to Rome, I think. Yeah. And they built this entire city. Where it's like you can almost feel, because like each scene is moved in and out, and there's like workers in the short that are moving them in and out. It feels very much like a play.
There's a couple like top-down camera things that I liked.
Yeah,
different.
But you can when I mean by like the the style and feeling of the film. It feels very handmade almost. And what I mean by that is like it feels like if they turned around one of those sets, it feels like there would be just cardboard on the back. It doesn't feel like they.
That's a good thing?
I think it was a good thing, especially with this short film. It's like because like short film, when you talk about short films, you don't think about grand scale. You think about small budget, maybe very limited time, like, limited characters, limited story, limited whatever. And it feels like this is very limited in a good way for Wes Anderson, because it's like he still gives off that same aesthetic, that same pleasing aesthetic that he's known for, but it feels very homemade, very built on a very short budget, or a very short time budget. And it feels like also that like the writing is very the actors are.
I'm gonna play the hater card on this. So
That's it. That's all you have.
yeah,
Okay.
I don't need it to be homemade.
I think it's beneficial that
he's
it's
got
homemade.
that Wes
though.
Anderson money. He doesn't need to make it look.
So maybe he
lower
wants to
budget.
go back to his go back to his short film roots, because like Bottle Rocket, like literally all his short
Just
films.
make another Bottle Rocket, but like
Well-
better. That's what I want him to do.
Literally, your whole argument is just do better, guy. Come on.
I want him to do something else besides the stage direction stuff. I want him to just make a normal story. Like
I think like
with
it would be
whimsical elements
beneficial.
is fine, but like
I think it would be beneficial that he almost makes like a if he could go back and do like another Bottle Rocket, I would like it. I think though he's become too big for that though, which is sad. But like I'm looking at all of his short films, and what I mean by like the homemade stuff, it's like there's one called Castelletto
say that again.
Castelletto Cavalcanti. And it's about an Italian race car driver, and he's driving it's Jason Schwartzman. He's driving this nice car. It doesn't it's over the top. It's over the top where Henry
Is this
Sugar.
the first time he did anything with Benedict Cumberbatch?
I think so. I think this is the first time he's done anything with everyone except Ray Fiennes and Rupert Friend when we talk about the Swan. So,
Yeah.
like, this is the first, and that's what I mean by like the whole like almost homemade feeling. It's very short filmish, where it's like he's never worked with most of the actors. The sets feel, you can obviously tell like in the library. I'm looking at the picture of him, like Henry Sugar in the library, and it's like you can obviously tell that's all painted. And it's like
So
I just think I think it's a very like
I don't care what a movie looks like for the most part. Like I care more about the story, and the story was boring.
well when you talk about it, Wes Anderson, you have to talk about style. That's the thing.
Well, yeah, but like his style is so uniform.
Well, and I
like,
think the style.
You know what you know what to expect. It's the same every time.
Yeah, but the thing I think
His
the
colors
joy,
are a little more muted in this. So what?
I think the joy though of like looking at something like this is like how does he change his style a little bit? I think he changes his style from Grand Budapest Hotel to French Dispatch to Asteroid City. I think he changes his style just enough that it's like it's interesting still. So
kind of. That's all. Just kind of.
Okay.
I don't know. It's like yeah, you can have like to dumb it really down. Like you could have a different colored wall, but if you present it in a slightly different way, but like
I'm not saying
much
present
the
it
same
in a
style,
different
it's
way.
pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same style.
I just think the technical limitations, and I think that's what like I said, I like the style of this a lot more than I think you do, because it feels homemade. It feels very
Well, do you want to transition to the Swan a little bit?
Yeah, we can transition to Swan because I feel like that's also like through all these shorts.
You know what I liked about the Swan?
What
is like the light gray background of like just like a somewhere that's overcast was way more believable. Like if we're going for like a feeling of like stage but not stage at the same time. I think that works because
I think it does too.
That's just like going outside of the Midwest. It's just overcast everywhere.
I mean, literally, it's overcast right now.
It's not distracting. You
so
know?
yeah,
to me, it's like okay, that looks fine. Background's not distracting as much.
Well, I also think like it also helps that like the set is more just it has a set path. Like I didn't rewatch it, but I like what kind of clicked through it on Netflix last night, and it is very much there's doors there, and this is like another thing of like the Henry Sugar and like the Swan and honestly all of these is that it feel like the stage play. That's what I like, when I say it's homemade. It feels like this could have been a really, really, really good version of like a high school play because you have the doors opening, you got stage left, stage right. All that kind of thing.
Would it be controversial to say I don't really want to watch high school plays?
No, well, that's not controversial at all. But I mean,
maybe that's kind of where I'm at with Wes Anderson at the moment, because like
it's a very well produced, highly done, highly like visual play. Though
I like the Swan better.
I do too. I think
I think I know why. Because in a little snippet at the end, you see that Roald Dahl kind of based this on like a newspaper story. So like something that may have actually happened.
Yeah.
And the way it's presented with the one guy telling the story and then the little kid, and it turns out like he's telling the story of like he is the kid.
Yeah.
I don't know. It felt like I got sucked into the feeling of the story. Like there's more sympathy there. Like I got invested more in what was happening.
Yeah.
It's based on something that may have actually happened. And
and I think to say that it like like we already discussed on like
there's no magical whimsical elements either.
Yeah, honestly, there really isn't.
I mean, the kid shoots a swan. That's just evil. That's messed up.
Yeah.
Like, and then like the way the kid's like, it's a bird sanctuary though. Like, oh, that just hurt.
Yeah,
me.
That's
like hurt.
That's like genuinely
just
bad.
Like a bunch of birds.
Yeah.
And it's like they're in a bird sanctuary. And it's like, man, that like just that by itself, I liked it way more than the Henry Sugar one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like there was something
admit,
to care
I like
about
the Swan.
more.
I like the Swan. Honestly, my favorite one is the Swan too.
Even with the Henry Sugar stuff, it's like, okay, he's donating all his money to orphanages and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see that though. You don't really see like you don't see any of what good he did. So maybe there's no impact.
Well, I think also, and like we have already discussed with the time length, I think it also helps that this is 17 minutes.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't overstay its welcome.
It doesn't. And I think
honestly it could have been a little bit longer.
I don't think it I kind of want it a little bit shorter, honestly, cuz I think
it felt like the right length. I'll say.
Maybe like a minute shorter, maybe not put Ray Fiennes as Roald Dahl in there, but you have to have him in there.
He's like the framing device.
Yeah.
Honestly, would it have been weird to just have all these shorts into like one movie?
Would
it have been that weird? Because like he's done like movies where like the vignettes or whatever aren't really connected.
So I think the only one that he's really done is like French Dispatch, but even then they're all connected because they're the stories of the last issue of the French Dispatch.
Yeah, but that's a very tenuous connection though.
Where this, it's like
the connection would be they're all Roald Dahl stories.
Well, yeah, I get like that is obviously the thing. I mean, they're all from I think this or Henry Sugar and Poison, I think, are on the same book. I want to say
if you connected them and made them into one movie, and then you have like another segment with Fiennes talking as Roald Dahl and like distilling all 4 stories into like one theme that he hits you with at the end. I think that would work as a movie.
So the one thing that I would say that negates that is that you then would have to have some more like inner God, what's the word? Interstitials with Roald Dahl.
Yeah.
And actually like have him
guiding the story.
Like
well, he does that anyway.
He does, but what I'm saying is like if he goes, "Oh, well, here's the story of Henry Sugar." Oh, okay. Well, here's the story of here's the story of here's the story of the cat catcher. It's like it feels like it
would be better than that.
Well, yeah, but it would very much feel like it would be like, "Oh, here's this. Oh, okay, we're done." It's like
that's how I felt at the French Dispatch ending.
Well, I think the French Dispatch
like how
has
are those
a better
related?
No, I think
they aren't.
The French Dispatch has a better interstitial because it's the editorial team making the last French Dispatch. That's the thing. Where it's like this, it's like you have to add then 10 minutes of Roald Dahl. How is he going to bring up the Swan? How is he going to bring up the rat catcher? How is he going to bring up poison? It's like
what his life was like, maybe.
Yeah,
because I don't know anything about Roald Dahl, even after watching these shorts about his.
Well, yeah, I don't think you can really get that much from his writing. I mean, I don't think he won a chocolate factory as a kid.
Whoa, you can't get that much from his writings. Whoa,
no, hold on. I'm not saying no. You misheard me. What I'm saying is, I don't think you get a lot. You can't make a lot of assumptions of Roald Dahl's life from his stories. Because like he's a very whimsical guy, he's a very whimsical writer. So what I'm basically getting at with the whole like you saying let's just put these all into one movie, I don't think it would work. I think because all of them kind of very separately work as like they work as separate beings of almost the same collection. So, but anyways, the Swan.
Well, I like the Swan the best out of the 4 shorts.
Yeah.
And just thinking about it, though, I don't really know what the point of the Swan is. What's the point?
Don't shoot a swan. Don't get bullied.
Don't get bullied. Yeah.
I mean, also, I think honestly, this might be the best performance in all 4 of them.
Yeah.
With Rupert Friend. I think Rupert Friend actually might be the standout for me on all these. Along with Richard Ayoade, in The Ratcatcher, which we'll discuss next week. But yeah, no, I think
Rupert Friend was good.
I think Rupert Friend, he was given this, and then he was like, he just kind of knocked it out of the park.
Let me just own this.
Yeah, he also has great style in this. He has I would love his blue shoes. I want his blue shoes.
I didn't notice his.
He has blue shoes. I don't know why I noticed that, but I'm like, he has some pretty cool, like, almost Converse blue sneakers.
I like when the kid raises the gun and then he's like,
yeah.
like he makes the gun sound.
Oh yeah,
stupid little things like that.
And that's also why I say, to finish my point, that I've basically just been shouting into the mic for the past 20 minutes.
You like the low budget Wes Anderson?
Yes,
feel.
it's stuff like that is like you wouldn't see that. You do not see that in.
Well, I don't know. Maybe the thing just is like, I know Wes Anderson's not operating with a small budget anymore, so maybe it's.
But he is though with this. I feel like he is though.
By choice.
Yeah, and that's like, what I think. Like a lot of directors almost like imagine if.
I want to see what Wes Anderson can do with $150 million.
I feel like he would have too much power then.
He would have too much.
I feel like he would have
the full untapped Wes Anderson potential.
I feel like you'd see
maybe we need to see that,
the highest budget like art house film of all time.
Like give him like a ridiculous like $300 million.
God, make him. How about this? Let him do the next Marvel movie. See what happens.
They'll keep him in too much of a box though. If they do that. But
I mean, he operates at 25 million. Literally, his past 5 films or from Asteroid City to Grand Budapest, I think. He's been operating on $25 million.
What was
for his
the budget of these shorts?
That's what I'm looking up.
Because I'm like, it could be any number from like 1 million to like 25.
I honestly don't think it's gonna be 1 million.
Like less than that?
I think it's less. I think it's like maybe at most 500 million.
I mean,
or 500, not 500 million, 500,000.
You didn't even have a real train. Why didn't they have a real train go over Rupert Friend?
Yeah, why would they put him in danger, you know? But
or was it the kid? It was the little kid. I like how he literally has like a drawing of the train approaching, and he's like, "Here it's coming," and he like moves it. It's like, okay.
Netflix acquired the Roald Dahl story company in September of 2021 for $500 million or $686 million. So they have all
they paid that much money to tell these
they have
silly little stories.
They have all of his stories, I think. So
it's amazing to me that's actually that lucrative. Like,
yeah,
because who have you ever seen like, I'm reading Roald Dahl right now?
Well, a lot of kids. I'd say like, I mean,
definitely more of a children kind of writer,
well,
but like still, come on.
I mean, his most famous ones are.
Well, they are making that Wonka movie.
Oh my God, no. Yeah,
Based
I mean,
on the works of Roald Dahl.
Looking up Roald Dahl on Google. These are his 6 ones that come up: Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Matilda, The BFG, The Witches, James and the Giant Peach, and Fantastic Mr. Fox.
I didn't realize he did BFG and Matilda.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like he's done a lot of stuff. He's more geared towards children, I'd say. But anyways, yeah, we'll talk about Ratcatcher and Poison next week.
I don't know why. I just like the Swan much better.
The Swan is probably the best.
It's like simple. There's no magical powers.
Yeah.
It feels like it's way more grounded. It's like in reality.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair on that. Honestly.
It feels like it has more of an impact. I don't know what the impact is though.
That's I was gonna say I don't
know.
Maybe it's because there really is no impact. Honestly, you ever thought about that?
Sometimes the point of a story is that there is no point, but I don't know if that's true.
I think it's just a fun
with this
short story. But anyways, we will cover Ratcatcher and Poison next week. I think I'll definitely rewatch them so that we have some. We need to start talking more about story and like acting and stuff for those ones. But we'll also be covering. I know we said that we covered it this week, but sorry, we'll cover it next week, which will be Exorcist Believer, the David Gordon Green start of the new Exorcist trilogy.
Exorcist the Beliebers.
Yep, the Beliebers.
It's just Justin Bieber
oh my
fans.
God. They're possessed.
They are possessed.
I feel like
they were. I feel like he's not even topical anymore.
He's definitely not. I haven't heard his name.
It's not relevant.
That is the first time I've heard his name in probably like a year, honestly.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
maybe they've been exercised then.
Maybe, but yeah, I'll listen to that next week when that comes out. But
and we'll have to hear Sean's ghost story that he wouldn't tell
this
week.
Yeah. I will discuss my Exorcist ghost story as well. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. You can follow.
Thanks for listening to me rant about Wes Anderson and how I'm
hear
sick of his shit.
You'll probably hear him rant again next week.
Yeah, I didn't like the other 2 shorts that much. To be honest.
But anyways, you can listen to this podcast on Spotify at The Fine Cut as well as on YouTube.
If you're on YouTube, please leave a comment.
Yeah, leave a comment, leave a like.
We need some
subscribe.
Engagement.
You know,
tell your friends about us if you think we're interesting.
Yeah, we need more people. But yeah, that's after the credits on YouTube. You can find me on Letterboxd at _filmworker_.
I'm on Letterboxd at Trebzilla.
The
also, one and only.
Yep. You could also find us on Instagram at _after the credits _. So yeah, check out look out for the episode next week on Exorcist. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Catch you later.